Hello and welcome to another video here at Hobbies and Happiness. My name's Dan.
And I'm Jim, and today we're going over Star Wars Villainous, and this time it's not a joke.
So we legit have made jokes on this channel about there being Star Wars Villainous.
Yeah.
It is an actual thing. Just announced. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I literally could not believe when I saw the announcement. I'm like, no, they're actually doing it. Funny thing, and I did not look this up, but I'm curious. I saw on Facebook, somebody made a comment. They were like, there's no way they're gonna do, why are they doing Star Wars? Because it's not like the villain pool. There's barely any villains that they can do. Outside of the movies, there's nobody. I'm like,
outside of the movies?
You know how many books there are?
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's plenty. Trust me, ask any Star Wars fanboy, which I am not. I love Star Wars, but I would not consider myself a Star Wars fanboy. There are a ton of Star Wars characters you can do.
Yeah.
So let's just dive right in, okay? And so there's a couple articles. The one that I've seen them will post. You have one from Polygon and then one from Games Radar. They talked a little bit about this. So the box looks amazing. The photo of Vader is sweet. It reminds me of Rogue One a little bit, which if you've never seen Rogue One, you definitely need to see that. That is such an amazing movie. It's so good. So Star Wars Villainous is, of course, the Villainous franchise now based in the Star Wars universe. It is real. It is actually happening. I think it's so cool. So in this base set, it's going to be 5 different villains. You have Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Asajj Ventress, General Grievous, and Moff Gideon. I don't know how I feel about Moff Gideon, but I'm not surprised because of Mandalorian. Yeah. They're capitalizing on the current Star Wars universe as best they can. So I'm not surprised by these villains, to be quite honest with you. There's still so many villains that they can do. Not surprised they didn't do Boba Fett right away. Yeah. Want to save him for later. There's just, I could go on about the number of villains, but
Jabba the Hutt.
The Hutts. Lando. Think that would they do Lando? Would Lando be a villain?
I wouldn't say he's a villain. Come on.
Okay, but would they make him one for this series? I'd probably say no, but I don't know. But again, I'm not as familiar with the entire Star Wars universe as there are a lot of. So those are the villains. So going through the articles, okay, what it looks like is this is going to be similar to both Disney Villainous and Marvel Villainous. There's going to take a little bit from each. So Marvel Villainous, the biggest difference between Marvel Villainous and Disney was the single fate deck. Yeah. That was the biggest difference. Some people didn't like it. I think a lot of people didn't like it. I'm very interested to know how Marvel Villainous did financially as compared to Disney Villainous, to be quite honest with you. I've talked to plenty of people who say they don't like it, but I've also talked to plenty of people like us who say we love Marvel Villainous and we prefer it. But they're very different games. So Star Wars Villainous, each character is going to have their own fate deck. It's not going to be a shared fate deck. Okay, so each are going to have their own. And then one of the things they're bringing from Marvel Villainous was, with Marvel Villainous, they had what's called specialties. And so those were on the boards. It was a spot to the right side of your board where you could put your specialties for your villain. In Star Wars, they have what's called deep space. Now, I don't know how exactly this is going to work. Okay, but what it looks like is it's just going to be a space on your board where you can put cards like your specialty. What has been revealed from these articles is vehicles. So vehicles are going to be new, and the 2 vehicles that they showed us were TIE Advanced X1 and the Millenium Falcon. Now the TIE Advanced, it looks like that is going to be specific for Vader. Okay, which makes sense because Vader was the only real villain that they showed off. They announced all of them, all the characters, but they really only showed us stuff with Vader. So, and then the Millenium Falcon is a vehicle, but that is going to be, it looks like it's going to be in his fate deck. Yeah. So if you look at, TIE Advance, and before we actually look at the actual card, let's go over the board real quick. So the board, again, you can tell it's villainous. So very interesting, Darth Vader's objective is defeat Luke Skywalker. So curious. What do you think? Is it going to be destroy Luke Skywalker or turn him into the dark side, or can it be both? You think there's going to be like ways to do either?
Yeah, because in my mind I was like, but he wasn't like really needing to kill him. It was like,
well, they don't say the K word.
Yeah,
they don't say the K word. Very interesting in that article. It's very, very funny.
I'm like, yeah, he could have just like changed him to the dark side, and like, you know, he would have been perfectly fine with it. Which, yeah, if they have a way to where you can turn him to the dark side, that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's going to be essentially defeating Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Very interested to know. But after looking at his board, he's got 4 locations. Mustafar looks so cool. It's getting me more excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series. Mustafar, you have the Death Star, Cloud City, and then the Emperor's Throne Room. Looking at the actions, it doesn't look like there's anything new. You have gain power, which in this game, after reading the articles, it looks like they're calling power ambition. So it's going to be ambition and power work the same way as your resource. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong. We're just going off of what we can see in these articles here. You have vanquish, you have fate and discard, and then what we think is activate. So that's what it looks like. Yeah, and then just that deep space area to the right.
So real quick, I'm actually now thinking about it.
Yeah.
With the TIE Advanced, right? It has the ability of gain 2 ambition. Why wouldn't they have also just put the symbol of like the 2 inside that coin area?
Here's what I think. All right, so Jim's talking about the vehicle that was introduced. So we'll look at TIE Advance. So TIE Advance, it looks like it's a 3-cost vehicle.
Strange, yeah.
And in the bottom portion of that art, it has the 3 activation symbols. It looks like play a card. It looks like vanquish. I think that's vanquish, and then move an item or an ally. Historically, that's what it is. And then below the name, it says gain 2 ambition. Here's where I think they wrote in just gain 2 ambition. Because normally, if they're gonna have more than 2 activation symbols on a location, there's 3. Okay, so there was no room for that gain 2 ambition. Because if this is going to be a spot on the board, okay, they didn't want to put one at the top that could be covered by a hero.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I'm not even talking more so about like putting it on the actual picture part of it.
Okay.
Even inside this little text box, they could have just put the symbol 2 with whatever gaining coin picture is, whatever that is.
They could, or they just wanted to write it,
Yeah,
I'm not honestly. I'm putting not.
That's why I instantly thought that ambition wasn't the same as the power or your resources.
It could be. It very well could be. We still don't have clarification if ambition is going to be a separate resource than power and how it's going to affect the game. But from all the information that it looks like, I think ambition is equal to power. So, all right, now let's talk about the Millenium Falcon, which the Millenium Falcon looks very interesting. So Millenium Falcon looks like it is a vehicle that's going to be in Darth Vader's fate deck. Again, just what it looks like. It says, when a hero has been defeated, move them to the Millenium Falcon. Players targeting Darth Vader with a fate action may play a hero from the Millenium Falcon to a new location instead of drawing cards from Darth Vader's fate deck. That looks really cool. I think that's very interesting.
Oh man.
So what that means is, again, just based off what we've seen, you could in effect never lose a hero from Vader's board.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure there's going to be ways of defeating vehicles, but based off of what we see here, that looks like that could be a possibility.
There's no way you can catch this thing. It is the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
That is true. Did the Kessel run? How long did it do the Kessel run in?
Faster than 3 parsecs. Less than 3 parsecs.
Yes. So, all right. So the other interesting thing, I think this is like the last interesting thing here in these articles, is what they say is these villain peace movers, which they look pretty cool. Each one is going to be slightly different because of the way these are being manufactured. Each Darth Vader villain piece is not going to be exactly the same as another one. There's going to be slight variations in the way that they're in the material, not the material being used, but it's like the resins or whatever. So they say there's gonna, what they say is they use a specified color powder that's infused with the base color and then swirled around. Then they kind of bloom a little bit, so we get this very cool kind of galactic feel. So they're all going to be slightly a little different. So I think that's cool. I mean, I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's cool. I think it's very, very cool.
It's something neat, right?
Yeah. So very cool. So it will retail for $39.99, and it is coming in August. So August of this year, it is coming. So get hyped, get ready. Who do you think you're going to play as? And who do you think they're going to include in future Star Wars Villainous expansions? We want to know. And who do you want to see? If there's a villain from this set that you want to see that's not in there, who is it? Let us know. Definitely want to know. I want to see Boba. I love Boba Fett. You got Jango Fett too. You got Sidious. There's just there's so many. So who do you want to see?
Jabba the Hutt.
You want to see Jabba?
Yeah,
that would be very cool.
Yeah,
I would love to see Jabba. I love Boba Fett. I would love to see Boba Fett. And then Darth Sidious. I would really like to see Darth Sidious. That would be very cool. So, the villain absolutely that I want to see, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Period. Darth Maul. Just give me Darth Maul. I will play Darth Maul every single time.
Dooku would be another cool one.
As you can see. Donald Maul. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you later.
Take care.